we're, Schadenfreude or something like that on the ski mountain.
Yeah, we just met and connected and kind of bonded over, over our respective business concepts. And as soon as COVID started to ease, these guys, Gravity House really wanted a point of presence in Denver to, offer amenities to their members that live here in town. And so it was natural for them to move in here. And so now Gravity House, the home of Gravity House in Denver, is Inside Nurture.
I love it. And, you mentioned something, and Kelly, I feel like you'll probably have a pretty heartfelt answer for this. Not that Peter wouldn't, but, you mentioned COVID, and y'all really had the most inopportune time to start what would be a common space sharing place with, a hands-on approach with all of these providers. How was navigating that? Was that the biggest bitch in the world? Like trying to open
No,
this
it was a
place
walk in
up?
the park.
Was
What do
it
you mean?
fun
No problem.
Yeah.
No, it was a challenge for sure. The same week that we were slated to open, we had planned this, grand opening party and inviting the tribe that got us here, and we're really excited and onboarded, 30 people and got them trained, and we're so excited. A lot of buzz that we, thought we had generated, and that Monday the city shuts down, and so it's kind of just like that, sword to the gut.
All the wind is out of your sails.
Yeah, and at the same time, just speaking for myself, I mean, we had, pushed and put so much love and passion and energy into, bringing this community together, and everything from, the construction and just all the pieces that, to put the palace together. And to have that hard stop, it really was like a mirror, and what are we doing? Who do we want to be? And as a co-owner and co-founder of this business, am I representing or embodying what it is that I hope to invite into the community? And the answer is that, along our journey and along our path, it's like this, it's up and down, and it's messy, and it doesn't have to look a certain way. For me to, embody a health and wellness marketplace, it means that I get to be myself. And sometimes that's buttoned up and composed, and sometimes I'm a mess. And that time really allowed me to just embrace it. It's this really is the experience of the whole human, that we can welcome, all of that in, and for each other, and to provide that kind of support. So that time was really bonding for all of us to kind of share that space, which was challenging for many people in different ways, and for the business. To answer your question now.
That's what people want to know. There was a lot of self-reflection, and it's are we strong enough to get through this? We just opened this, your baby right in the middle of a fucking pandemic that nobody had ever seen. We'd never shut down our economy
Right.
before.
It was scary. It was scary.
All unheard of. So, no, that's a totally legit, answer. Yeah. But answer the question.
Yeah, all right already.
I forgot my question.
No, and so May 11th, I'll never forget, but we opened the business incrementally, cafe, and then some of the providers started to move in, and at the time, fitness and events obviously weren't really a thing. And so it was rather a blessing, to be frank, because we were able to kind of slowly ease into this instead of just bam, we're open and every aspect is activated. And so it really allowed us to experience each of the different parts
slow
of this.
Rollout kind of vibe.
Yeah, totally. And furthermore, it really validated what we were doing, because people ultimately really wanted to take care of themselves, and priorities shifted. And
that is a good point. I didn't think about it like that, because the mindset of the average American has had to change, whether it just be washing your hands, but it's you saw more people baking bread and starting outdoor activities because drinking and sitting on the couch
wasn't going to serve them anymore.
Yeah.
And they wanted more opportunities to go inside, to hang out with themselves, because that was their only choice, and a place like Nurture allows for that sort of those sort of exercises, if you will, and not to mention, and everybody's being quite proactive about supporting their immune systems, whether it's through healthy food or movement, etc. This obviously created a container for that, and most importantly, I would say, is community. We may not be able to be right next to each other, but, social distancing and et cetera, which is a strange time. But we were able to find community, and connect with one another, and build that loyalty to each other and to ourselves. So it was challenging, albeit for us and for everybody else. It's not like unique to us that it was a challenging time. But we're really happy to kind of be on the other side of that and to be able to like really spread our wings and kind of show everybody what we really have to offer now that we can kind of fully activate the space. And
I feel like that was a question that's probably been asked to y'all a couple of times, because you knocked that answer out of the park. Way to go.
Great.
It was for sure a lesson in, things don't always happen as you envision, but they happen as they're supposed to. And it wasn't how we thought it was going to be, but there were some good things that came out of it. We started building the community of the providers upstairs long before the building was ready. We kind of built them in parallel. And so, when COVID hit and everybody went into lockdown, imagine your average massage therapist who's, out there in the wild, pretty isolating. But we had already built this community of, 50 or so providers. And so we're having Zoom calls every other day with them. And so in a way, it almost kind of like galvanized the community because we had this shared adversity.
Yeah, it was like y'all were all picking each other, like we're all in this, but we're rowing together kind of
exactly.
thing, instead of being in a dinghy by yourself out there in the lost ocean.
And
that's a good point.
And as Kelly was saying,
misery loves company too. Everyone's just sitting there like, fuck, we can't do any of the things we want to do.
And just a shared space for, the real stuff that people were going through, fears and anxiety and all the mental health challenges that we've all experienced over the last year plus. And at the end of the day, if, I think people have reprioritized things, all the things that nurture is really about: community, connection, self-care, right? Those are things that are core to who nurture is. And so, if there's a silver lining, then, maybe that's it.
I like that. Y'all, that was an alley-oop of a question and answer right there. Y'all really sold it well. Well done. Well, I would say thanks for coming on the podcast, but y'all are not nearly out of the woods. The first half of the podcast is always business forward. So these next quick questions we're going to ask you, they're probably going to be more tailored for Kelly. She's a native, so she's probably going to have some gems. But we're a food and stoner podcast, so we like to know where do you shop to grab your cannabis? Where's your favorite happy hours? And so these next questions, we just want to get y'all's lay of the land. We're going to ask you too, Peter. You got 10 years under experience. I hope you got something for me.
I'll get ready.
But before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out. Oh shit, I got to get the ad read. Cut this part out. I'll edit this. Don't worry, y'all. Okay, here it is. Sudio, S-U-D-I-O. The name brand, they're a headphone company based out of Sweden. They've recently unveiled a new flavor / color of their AirPods for only $80. You can get the same quality AirPods you would with your Apple. They pair to everything. Use promo code Stoned Appetit for 15% off. That's Sudio.com, S-U-D-I-O. Go check them out. Great AirPods. I like the ones they gave me. I think they play well. They have a variety of colors, but I'm not a fan of the yellow. It kind of looks like urine, but I like the white ones and the black ones, and they pay us for this ad read. So shout out to our friends over at Sudio. Thank you all for providing us with great headphones for a reasonable cost. That's SUDIO.com. That's how I do my ad reads. It's kind of, they don't give me hard, they just give me the information, so that's how they get them. All right,
brilliant.
So these questions, guys, these are going to be really easy, and then we'll get y'all out of here so y'all can go back to work today. First one, let's say you had a really good day. Chakras are aligned, but you're not ready to go home. You wanted to go have a celebratory drink that's not in the nest. Where are we going to have cocktails in Denver? What's y'all's go-to spot? We'll start with Kelly.
I love Hudson Hill.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say some Highlands because you mentioned.
I love Lady Jane, too. Yeah. Both their concepts. I love those guys. I love what they've created. I love the aesthetic. I love the simplicity of the menu, the quality of the products, the vibe.
But Hudson Hill?
Hudson Hill. I love Hudson Hill.
It's right in my neighborhood. For those that don't know, 13th and Downing area, Washington, right next to the Corgi Pub.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's, and were you describing Lady Jane there, or were you describing Hudson Hill with the simplest but nice craft cocktails? Because that could go either way. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's what I like, that it can go either way. It's a transitionary space, just like just like Nest,
Not
and that
Nest
you can
sings
have
better.
your coffee, etc., and get some work done and transition into a nice glass of wine or a cocktail. And they've done that so seamlessly, and I really I just look up to those guys. I think they're great.
And the vibe's really cool. It
Yeah.
makes you kind of feel like this.
Yeah.
We're in this room, aka
Yeah.
the 9 room. You'll get it if you were a member of the Chakra Club. Peter, what is your happy hour go-to?
I like a good view, so I like places like L5, right?
Okay.
Linger, where you can get a nice view of the city. And
I like it. I feel like Denver doesn't utilize, like, we have gnarly views both if you're looking at the city and the mountains. We need more bars that are on rooftops. Like half of fucking Brooklyn looks at the Manhattan skyline. We have even a prettier skyline when the sun is setting behind the Rockies. Why doesn't every single new building have a badass bar on the roof? The 5430s and your L5s. Those are great places. We just don't have enough of them. I like where your head's at. You got another one besides L5? Patio styles? The Woods?
I like.
Ooh, the Woods. Yeah.
I like Forest Room 5.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nice
Oh
pick.
yeah.
I did not expect that. I guess you don't have.
Why? Because I'm a New Yorker.
No, because you're not.
A
You don't
hipster.
have like the twisty mustache.
Yeah.
No.
Peter's really cool though.
I couldn't do hipster if I tried.
I couldn't. This is about me right here. Shorts and flip flops.
I like Avanti Food and Beverage too.
Okay.
Nice outdoor
That's a good
space. I
vibe.
like multiple food options.
And killer views as well.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at. I like where your head's at.
Potager is one of my favorites. Classic in town. Have you been?
It's
it's in your neighborhood.
Is that how you say that?
Potager. Yeah, I said potager. That's what Domina said.
I was say I butcher everything as a southern redneck, so I never know. And then people are like, "Oh, that's how you say that." I'm like,
Yeah.
I've been saying that.
I just
wrong.
like places that take like simple things and do them really well.
Like Plymouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
do like
another
that
that's
place,
another
yeah.
good one.
Sleepers,
Yeah.
right? And that's an easy plug, but also it leads me to my next question. Where's the last great date night y'all had? Put me on something here.
Wildflower in Lodi. Really cool. It's part of Lifehouse Hotel. One of my favorite chefs in the city, Will Harris.
I haven't had
It's
that.
incredible.
Really?
Yeah,
And
it's
where
really
is it?
well done. It's right here in the Highlands off Navajo, like 33rd and Navajo, like where Root Down is, Black
Okay,
Eye
yeah,
Coffee,
yeah.
my other favorite coffee shop. Yeah, it's really cool. Beautiful, beautiful place, and the food's really well done. It's like this sort of modern, southwestern food. It's incredible.
Okay.
Really beautiful, too.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I love getting put on new spots because
Yeah.
we don't we're not like influencers in the regards of we know where everything is. But when I see it on someone else's Instagram or someone puts me on something, I'm like,
Yeah,
well, yes,
Wildflower.
I'll gladly go try it out.
It's
And
cool.
then tell people about it. Fuck yeah.
And then they
Great.
have this really boutique hotel. It's like quite small, and there's I think maybe 4 or 5 single rooms, but then they have like hostel style rooms too, where there's like 5 bunks in a room. So if you're
Whoa.
coming into town and headed west or whatever your plan may be, they have some alternative housing, if you will, to stay.
What a gem. I didn't
Yeah,
know
it's
any
cool.
of that. Just didn't even know that place
Yeah.
existed. That's awesome. Good luck, Peter. She just threw an awesome hammer right there.
Well, I'm gonna go with a place that actually, Kelly, you and I have been together before that I think is great, called Somebody People.
Ooh, yeah,
Now, that
good
place
one.
is solid. Very
Yeah.
creative cooking down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love what
Fresh
they do.
breeds.
You know, I don't feel like I feel like they do a wonderful job of vegetarian, vegan cuisine, but just super tasty, not processed, clean, whole foods. I think their program is delicious. We like those guys, and
That's killer. That's a
They
good one.
also have like a
they,
produce.
what did they take our kombucha
too.
program? What didn't they?
Free Spirit. They totally
Free
ripped
Sp-
that,
yeah,
but I
Free
love
Spirit.
them. It's the greatest compliment.
Yeah, at Nest we have we have our regular cocktail menu, and then we have our Free Spirit program, which is alcohol-free craft cocktails, and so those guys borrowed that.
It's a good name. It's okay.
Yeah.
Borrow what you want.
Yeah.
It's a free world.
Those are both great spots. While I haven't been to Wildflower, I couldn't agree more on somebody's people. So you really brought your A game there. I like it.
Thank you.
I'm glad y'all brought y'all's A game because we have 2 more questions before I let y'all go. First question, it's the Stoned Appetit question of the week, brought to you by Callie's Cannabis. I mentioned earlier that we're recording on Wednesdays. It's Wax Wednesdays. Tomorrow, Vape Thursdays. It doesn't have a cool ring to it, but it still has killer deals. And on Fridays, Yeah, you heard it. Flower Fridays. So go check out our friends Callie's Cannabis. They have everything. They have deals of the day, rewards program, and they're going to be unveiling their industry program for those in the restaurant and hospitality.